Well, this is Congressman French Hill. I'm delighted to be on top of Rattlesnake Ridge, Arkansas's newest conservation area in the Department of Heritage. It's a partnership with the Nature Conservancy here in Arkansas, and really a new, remarkable place to enjoy the natural state, whether you're hiking, rock climbing, mountain biking, which is the latest hot fad here in West Pulaski County, or you just want to come check out the flora and fauna. And it's a treat for me to be with my great friend, Scott Simon, who is the director of the Nature Conservancy and has been in Arkansas since 1996. You're an Arkansan now.
We feel really lucky to be in Arkansas.
Yeah, well, we love having you and Angela and your kids here. And, you know, almost 20 years, so we're going to give you citizenship. We think, even though you're a Midwesterner, right? You grew up in Illinois?
Yes, sir. Yep. Grew up in a suburb of Chicago, near Lake Michigan. So had a fortunate upbringing along the lake, in the woods. Got to do a lot of fishing in Wisconsin. So.
And and you got a forestry degree from Wisconsin. So what point, sort of adolescent life, did you decide you wanted to be in forestry, field biology, and devote a whole career to nature?
Well, like probably a lot of us, it didn't come right away. I took a path just through college. I thought I was going to be a doctor, but loved, biology, and then took a class at the University of Wisconsin just on wetlands. And it's just fascinating just learning about how nature works and how all the species interact together and all the animals and plants. And so just fell in love with it and just had a different series of internships. Worked at the University of Illinois and coordinated a research group there, but volunteered with the Nature Conservancy. And it was just really, really fun.
Wow, and that turned into a career.
Yep, working with private landowners, and I just decided to, shift from research, to working on conservation. And then got to come to Arkansas for an interview in the mid-90s and just fell in love. I mean, Arkansas is incredible, and the people were so neat. And so Angela and I just moved here, and it's been we've just been honored to get to work here.
That's great.
We loved it.
Well, when I was a kid, I was obviously real involved in scouting, and that's where I first got really engaged in conservation issues and land management. Was working, at the scout camp, which constantly had a land management need. We tried to use prescribed burns true. We weren't very good at it. We had the Saline County Fire Department on speed dial in those days due to our ineptitude. But we learned a lot about land management, particularly erosion control. In a scout camp, you got a lot of trails. But when I was probably 12 or 13, I wanted to be an oceanographer. That was my thing. And I got my dad to teach me to scuba dive and, take me places from Lake Washita to Greer's Ferry we finally, when I was probably 12 or 13, got to scuba dive on Palancar Reef down by Cozumel. And so that I was so interested in that. But by the time I got, into high school and into college, I was just more interested in business. So for me, the kind of work you're doing and doing such a great job of at the Nature Conservancy, to me, it's a hobby, it's an interest, but it wasn't a vocation for me. But I'm so glad that the Nature Conservancy has your decades of vocational support to this important area. But I think it's a way, the two of us talk about the centrality of the Conservancy is collaboration. What sets the Nature Conservancy apart worldwide in that sense of collaboration from, say, other people who do good, environmental work? They do great. They might be focused on a species, in the oceans or on land, but they maybe aren't as good a collaborator. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, really, it gets down to, your own involvement in conservation. I mean, conservation's about people and what people want for their, place and their world. And I think just what's neat about the Nature Conservancy is we just love working with others. And so just working with private landowners, local communities, businesses on conservation projects that benefit them and their area. And that's what's so much fun about conservation in Arkansas, is because of, people like you and the members. We want to keep our state natural, and we want to enjoy it, and we want to have clean water, but we also want to, have it be a place that we can visit and use and attract people, you know,
Right.
to love Arkansas. And so what's neat about the style that we have at the Nature Conservancy is that it's really about you. It's not about us. It's about what, you know, you want and what the people in this area want to do together. And this project, you know, at Rattlesnake Ridge is just an awesome example of that. You know, this was, you know, the Department of Arkansas Heritage, you know, Stacey Hurst, the secretary, Governor Hutchinson, you know, being interested in more outdoor recreation, you know, more places for people in Central Arkansas to enjoy. And all of you, you know, work together, work with us at the Conservancy and to make this possible.
Plus the Bodenheimers' longtime ownership of this property and their commitment to conservation and their willingness to transfer the property with some charitable intent as well. So you have private contribution, Nature Conservancy donors, in addition to the Bodenheimer pricing gift, if I can describe it that way, state resources from the governor and from Stacey Hurst, and then management by Nature Conservancy, I guess in partnership with the Department of Heritage. They're doing some management here as well.
Yep. So we co-own it with the Arkansas Natural Heritage Commission. And that's just been a really good partnership for Arkansas.
Right.
We co-own and manage together, you know, about a dozen places across the state.
And we have a new place, which we're going to show some video of while we talk, but it's immediately to the west here of Rattlesnake Ridge, called Blue Mountain. And so from an outdoor recreation point of view, we've got Pinnacle Mountain State Park, which is spectacular, but loved to death, as I say. Too many visitors, 1 million visitors a year, and we're wearing it out. And so now we have the opportunity to come to Rattlesnake Ridge, just a mile or so west of Pinnacle. Rattlesnake Ridge will be connected to Blue Mountain, is that right?
Yes. Yep. And
So how many acres in total then about? More or less?
More or less about 700
Okay.
acres in total. Maybe
And
a
so
little,
we'll be
little
connected
more.
from Highway 10 out by Lake Momel all the
Yes.
way back to Pinnacle Mountain, in effect.
All the way back to Pinnacle Mountain, in
Right.
effect. It's incredible. And, you know, it really completes this whole chain of mountains in the Maumelle Pinnacles from, you know, Pinnacle Mountain, Rattlesnake Ridge, Blue Mountain. And what's been fun about all of it, you know, is just the amount of excitement from people in Central Arkansas.
Right.
I mean, it's incredible. And particularly now, you know, at this time when people realize how important these public outdoor places are. I mean, we just get renewed and we go with our families and this place is dog friendly and you can spread out. And because that's a very purposeful experience that we're trying to design here,
Right.
the partnership. You know, it complements the state park. It's a natural area. It's a state natural area within the Natural Heritage Commission system. And so it's a nature-oriented, you know, recreation experience. There's about 7 miles of hiking trails here at Rattlesnake Ridge, 2 rock climbing areas, fishing pond. And then the idea at Blue Mountain, you know, is that we would add another 7 miles of trails, another small parking area somewhere. And that's really the fun part right now. And that gets to, you know, what you mentioned about the Nature Conservancy style, is we like to do it together. And so the fun stage now is designing that with the partners and the neighbors, just taking our time, because we want to be a good neighbor.
Right.
We want to think it through. We want the people who live around it, like they do here at Rattlesnake Ridge, because, you know, they care for it, say, we love having this place nearby. But designing that, you know, is something we just do together. And that's where we are right now. Pretty fun.
Well, we appreciate your sense of collaboration. I think it really sets the Nature Conservancy apart. I've watched you take on stream restoration in beautiful Van Buren County and over in the Delta, something that's really important to water quality, very, very important to water quality. But also this sense of watershed protection. We're giving people more recreation opportunities in West Pulaski County, but we're also at the same time continuing to protect Lake Maumel's watershed, increasing that buffer, which is just an invisible benefit, really, of doing this work. And you've really done that as well with the ranch when you opened up your river sort of recreation site at the ranch on the Little Maumelle.
That's another really great place to visit here in Central Arkansas. And that was another partnership with Ranch Properties, Inc. So
Right.
Belinda Schultz, you know, Ed Willis, Gene Pfeiffer, you know, selling that to the Conservancy, you know, at a conservation price,
Right.
which allowed us to fundraise for it, you know, with their gift, and then open it for people to enjoy. and just a really different experience than here. Picnic, there's canoes for people to use there, great hiking trails, walking trails along the river, really special place.
Well, you and Angela and Annie and Charlie are great Arkansans now, great ambassadors for our state, and we love the fact that you meet every Scout's test, which you always leave your campsite cleaner than you found it, and Arkansas is a more natural, better place because of your leadership at the Nature Conservancy. We appreciate you.
Well,
great to be with you.
Well, thanks for everything that you do for conservation. It's incredible.
It's my
part
pleasure.
of this is your vision of having more places for people to enjoy.
We are the natural state,
Yeah.
and we're going to fight to keep it that way using the collaboration that we see in the Nature Conservancy with private resources and private donors, many federal resources through the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Interior, and then our great leadership here at the state by our governor and our Secretary of Arkansas Parks, Tourism, and Heritage. So, Scott, great to be with you, and we're going to leave you on the top of Rattlesnake Ridge with a great view of the surrounding area.